My name is Philip. I'm 32. I'm from New York, and this is Financial Audit New York.
What do you do for a living here in the great city of New York?
I am a truck driver.
What would you say that you bring in on a yearly basis on average?
I would say at least 100K. Um, it's just I probably don't ever see that because of my spending habits, and but I would say I definitely say I would hit 100K.
All right. Well, it looks like the freelance independent life is working out for you. But I'm looking at just a quick overglance of your finances. Do you have a gambling addiction?
Yes.
How long has that been going on?
Uh, that has been going on. I would say maybe about 8 years. Maybe about 8 years, and it started getting the more money I made, the more heavier it got, and because the past few years, I've been making a lot more money. I think the gambling has kind of spiraled, out of control.
Yeah, it seems like your gambling's kind of off the chain, for lack of a better word. What's your home life situation right now?
So I'm currently living by myself, and all of that was basically stemming from the gambling.
Oh wow.
So the gambling basically gambling and the financial aspect of how is changed my life and brought me down because making money is not a problem. I can make money, um and when I make money, when I have money, everything is great. Obviously, probably the same thing for a lot of people, but when get into the gambling side of it and I start losing, it just changes when you're broke, it just changes your whole aspect and your whole like energy, mentality,
Totally.
to live a stressful life, not knowing, okay, am I gonna be able to eat today? Am I gonna be able to do this, do that? And then especially when you're used to, I think it's even worse when you're used to having a certain amount of money and then you go back to not having that amount of money and then to have to work to do a quick side hustle or a job where you're making a minimal amount of money that you probably wouldn't do if you still had that money in your account. It kind of like devastates you, like your mental structure in a way.
You've had this addiction that's been getting worse for the last 8 years. Have you tried getting any help?
So I have tried getting help. I've been to meetings, like GA meetings, um and I was consistent with them for a little while,
But you're not consistent anymore.
and then I just fell off, went back into it. And then when my fiance and my daughter were living with me, I actually was kind of doing better for a longer period of time. I was able to last, especially like when seeing my daughter every day and knowing like, okay, I have to, I have to focus. I have to stay focused. I have this responsibility. I have to make sure she has what she needs, and I can't, be out here reckless. Um, but then, especially once we separated and I started living back by myself, and you get to the point where you just live kind of I mean, for me it was kind of like a careless, I don't care life. Like, oh well, if I'm broke, I'm broke, I'll figure it out. you know
Yeah.
and the majority of my life, um especially the last 8 years, has been to live in the moment. So that means living above my means,
Yeah.
spending, whatever it is for one experience, not minding if I'm broke, at the end of it. And part of that is probably because 8 years ago, I actually came home from being in prison for 4 years. So when I was in prison for 4 years, prior to that, I lived like foster care life and so on. So 8 years ago was like I was in prison from 20 to 24. So when I came home, it was basically like I guess like my first experience into adult life. having freedom in the adult life.
Yeah.
You know, and I've just been taking advantage of every opportunity, knowing that, you know, freedom's not guaranteed. Health is not guaranteed. Seeing going through COVID, seeing how many people die young and don't get to achieve their goals or explore the world. You know, I speak to so many people that's older than me that say they've never left New York. They've never been on a plane. They've never traveled anywhere. And I'm like, you know, that's insane to me, especially knowing what's out there. You know, it just gives me that hunger to want to explore, you know?
Yeah. But your hunger feeds into you gambling like a fucking maniac.
Yes.
And just living like a maniac. You live like a gambler. I'm looking at some of your expenses. You live like a gambler in the sense where if you're up that day, you're spending $50 on a meal or whatever, and you have no care for the future financial situation. You seem to have a passion for living in the moment, but you're going to passionately have a terrible future if you always focus on the moment, because a big part of finances is sacrificing what's here now to have a better future for yourself. So let's start looking at your expenses here in April. It starts off with just madness. You got Maple Bear. I guess those are deposits. So I guess you got some money back from those. That's a gambling website, right? Maple Bear.
So here's another thing. So I think Maple Bear, along with, you'll see some other ones. It's Dave Maple Bear.
Yeah, Dave.
Which is, I think Maple Bear is, I think, a name for one of the other companies. But it's like Clio, Credit Genius, I believe. It's like 3 or 4, and Empower. So it's like 4 different apps that I use for advancing money. So I think that's one of the advancing apps. And basically, they're not really high amounts, but they're like emergency apps. So like basically, if I gamble, I'm broke, I have nothing, I can go on Dave and advance $125 for 2 weeks. You know, I think Maple Bear was like maybe like same thing, like $100. So they range from like $50 to $100 to $125 that I can advance, that gets repaid or gets deducted automatically in 2 weeks.
That's insane. So you have 3 or maybe even 4 websites that you use to advance money on short-term loans so you can keep gambling?
Well, keep gambling, but not...
And then survive?
But survive. More. Those are really more so just, I need to survive. Like, I need, you know...
And then you also, it looks like, have $6,300 in credit card debt, and a lot of that looks like gambling. What else do you think you spend your credit card money on? Just survival?
So it's mostly survival. And the thing is that I've had these credit card balances for a long time. I think the biggest payment that I made was maybe last month. I made like maybe $1,500 payment in one shot.
Yeah, and then you spent $2,500?
Yeah, so it was just because I needed to have a credit card with enough available balance for a hold when I went to the Bahamas. So the hotel said, okay, we need this much. It was like $250 a day.
Yeah, you went to the Atlantis casino.
So I went there. And the reason why I even went there was because I had an offer from Caesars, which is, I'm like a diamond member with them. And they said, oh, here, once a year, we'll give you 5 nights free in the Bahamas. So I took my daughter. I said, let's go. 5 nights free. You know, obviously with that comes a stipulation that while you're there, you have to play in the casino for at least 4 hours during your entire stay. So
you're making minimum bets?
So it's insane, because when I actually went there, I actually lost a big amount of money before the Bahamas trip. So I had maybe, you know, a good amount of money.
And so you still went on this trip?
Lost the money, but still had the hold. Thank God I made the payment on the credit card. So I went to the Bahamas with only that credit card money.
Oh my God.
So because I had that, I said, you know what? Flights is already booked. Money's there. We went to the Bahamas. I put the hold on. And then when I checked into the hotel and basically had to charge everything to the room.
Yeah.
Had maybe I would be surprised if I had maybe like $100 cash that I was making minimum bets, 50 cents on a slot machine for like an hour, 2 hours. And then I had my girl, she played the other 2 hours with my card just so I could meet that 4 hour mark. And it's insane that with 50 cents bets, we actually made it to 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
Okay.
Satisfied the requirement. Otherwise they would charge me the full rate of the room. So, which was probably like $4,000 or $5,000. So, but yeah, that's how bad it was.
Oh my God. It's still fucking bad, man. I mean, that was how long ago?
That was, what are we, July? I believe it was June. June 13th, I believe I went to the Bahamas.
That was like 3 months ago?
No, last month.
Last month.
We're in July now.
Oh, okay.
So it was June.
June. Okay. That's crazy as hell.
But if you want something recent, I'll give you last week.
Something even more recent. Let's hear it.
I was in Florida. I was staying at so I drove a truck from Michigan to Texas. Did a job, made $2,300.
Great money.
Yeah, and I did it in one day. I literally left Michigan at, I think it was 3 p.m. on whatever day it was. Got to Austin, Texas, 9 p.m. the next day. So I literally did like a straight run. I took maybe a 3-hour power nap in the truck and like just kept going. Made the money, flew to Florida. Florida gave me, at the Hard Rock, gave me 3-night stay, $500 resort credit, $250 travel reimbursement, all the good stuff. My second day there, I win $12,000.
Okay.
Off a $4 bet. So I go to Florida.
What?
I got.
What do you gamble on?
I should do blackjack and slots.
So you won 12,000 on slots?
So I won 11,600 to be exact on a slot machine.
And you stopped, and now you don't gamble anymore.
So I take it to the room. I put it in the safe. I call my girl. I said, "Listen, pack your bags. Bring my daughter. Fly to Florida. Bring them in." Within 2 days, I lost 10 grand in one night.
Why the hell did you go to Florida? Just to gamble more?
So they enticed me with the offer.
What the hell is wrong with you, dude?
They enticed me with the offer of the $500 resort credit, $250 travel reimbursement. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? This is like a free vacation.
Oh my God, but it's not a free vacation. You're going there to manically gamble.
And then once you get lost in that world, that's the problem. It's like, you
need to get out of gambling. You need to go back to Gamblers Anonymous. You smile about gambling. You enjoy the losses, dude.
It's bad. It's definitely.
You need to go cold turkey. You got to get out of this shit. I haven't even gotten to look at your expenses yet. Those are 2 crazy ass stories in the last 2 months, and bro, you have to stop. For your daughter's sake, for your own future, for being able to retire one day, because you don't want to be a truck driver until you die. Like, you want to have some sort of future. You want to have a home that you can live in without making payments every month. Like, you want to be able to slow down, because right now you're going full throttle right into the fucking wall. This is nuts. So, I mean, we're going to look at the first month here, which is April. You have some of those. It starts off with the lending apps. You get $200 from the lending app. So obviously you need that money. And then boom, you spend instantly $1,000 on Cash App, straight to what's probably a gambling website. It looks like another $400 to DraftKings. You get some money back. You get like you send out $129 to DraftKings, and then you take out $129. You have a lot of these transactions, as I look through, where you put the money in and then almost instantly, without taking a bet, you're taking the money out. What's with the story behind that?
So I think the only thing that would make sense is, it's kind of like interesting, but when I have money in my Cash App, I can actually add money from Cash App to DraftKings. And then from DraftKings, I take it out to put it into my checking account to avoid the fees that Cash App would have with me transferring from Cash App directly to my checking account.
I get that.
So I think that would be probably the only reason I would do that if it's like right away
Yeah.
is just to avoid the fees. And for that
Okay, I
amount,
see that.
sometimes like minimal fees.
So what are you
But
gambling on? Do you gamble on just everything?
mostly sports. I do sport like so. New York, you can't do any casino betting on the apps. It's only sports.
Yeah.
So when I'm in New York, if I'm gambling, it's just sports. Baseball, basketball, when football's going on, whatever it is. But when I'm traveling in states that allow the casino gambling, especially on the apps, then I'll do usually like a slot game on the app, especially like in Jersey or whatever other state allows it. And if I'm in a casino, then it's
You're slot gambling on your phone?
yes.
Jesus.
So in Jersey, so for example, I was the other night, I drove into Jersey just to go on the phone to gamble. And
Why?
I had $2,000 on the app.
Yeah.
And so within 10 minutes, I won about $1,400. So I was up to $3,400.
And then I'm assuming you stopped and drove home.
So that's exactly what I should have done. 10 minutes, I'm up $1,400, had $3,400. My friend, who's also a big time gambling addict, was coming from New York to Jersey to meet me.
You guys gonna meet up and play on the phone together?
Yeah, he said, "Oh, I'm gonna come to Jersey," and then we got the bright idea to go to Atlantic City for the night.
Nice.
From the drive was about 2 hours from New Jersey, from the tunnel in New Jersey, between New York, New Jersey to Atlantic City. It was about 2 hours. In that amount of time, I lost all the money on the app. Just like that.
You couldn't even get to Atlantic City. You
Couldn't
already
even get to Atlantic City.
tapped it away.
Tapped it away.
That is brutal. That is so brutal.
And it's really interesting because
No, it's not interesting. It's terrible. Do you want to live like this?
no, I always tell myself how disgusted I feel
When you lose,
when
you
I lose.
enjoy going up, but you're just
And then even when I win, for me to know that I could have saved this, put this money to the side, because you definitely lose a lot more than you win.
so. What? You're gambling on sports. You're gambling on slot machines. You're gambling at the tables. You're just looking for any sort of come up. Do you think you have any sort of edge? Is that a belief in your head that in the long run you're going to be able to become profitable, or you just think you're going to luck your way into a big payout and then you're going to convince yourself to stop?
I think it's a mixture of both.
You think you have an edge on what?
I think sometimes because I've played pretty much everything that you could think of, I kind of know what to stay away from, what my chances might be better at if I, play with this machine or this table.
You think if you play like a certain machine, you're going to have better chances?
I think certain machines tend to pay out more or have more bonuses than others.
Oh my God. You're going to make me throw up, dude. That's wrong. That's so wrong. That's what they want you to believe. You don't have an edge on slots, point blank, period. It is coded into the machine. You're playing against a software that is designed by some kid that went to MIT that literally is trying to trick your monkey brain into just losing your money. There is absolutely no edge to be found on slots. So let's switch the topic to the table games. Do you think you have an edge on table games?
No.
Okay. So you don't have an edge in slots. That's a fact because it's literally software. You don't have an edge on table games. Do you think you have an edge in sports?
No.
See, you don't have an edge anywhere. So in the long run, no matter what, you're going to lose 20% of the money you put in.
Mm-hmm.
Just overall, every time. And you just keep chasing it like you're going to make a come up and I don't know, live off that and enjoy the fruits of that. But time and time again, you just have not even waited around even an hour. It's absurd. Yeah, I mean, wow. you gotta just slow down, dude. No, and not even slow down. Like slow down is an understatement. You have to stop.
Yeah.
It needs to stop. You need to go back to Gamblers Anonymous tomorrow, today. You
Yeah.
need to call them up and be like, let's have a meeting that we're not gonna have. Like, I need to go back, dude, and stay there, because even if you're a day away from the next jackpot, it is not worth reinforcing that in your brain. I don't care if you come up on 15 grand tomorrow. It's not worth reinforcing that. Like, it's just not. Because you could literally work straight out for the next 3 months, come up with that 15 grand and be in the exact same position, but mentally be 3 months away from gambling.
Mm.
So back to your spending. It's I mean, I'm just gonna pretty much say the same thing over and over again. It's DraftKings, Maple Bear. You get a short-term loan from Maple Bear to be able to do your laundry. Then you're also just living like shit too. You just eat like fast food, Popeyes, Wawa. You're doing some ATM withdrawals to keep some cash in your pocket, and then you'll just put it back in and go back to Caesars. It looks like more Caesars purchases, more Caesars. You get some money back, you lose a bunch. Short-term loan, hit the bagel shop. Short-term loan for the bagel shop. Short-term loan to go to Dunn Reed. Short-term loan to go to Taco Bell. And then you're back on DraftKings. Insane DraftKings, some Wawa purchase. DraftKings, $500. Doesn't look like that comes back in. You got another $500 going out to DraftKings. Then you have that 500 coming back. You got a yearly plan for Ring, $50. So at least if someone wants to steal what you have, you got that covered. Not that you have shit. Sephora, Apple Store, T-Mobile. Just looks like you got a deposit, then immediately you threw $360 into DraftKings, got $400 back. DraftKings, just Cash App. You sent out 260, got 300 back. You're risking $260 to make fucking 40. Just a bunch of random purchases, 7-Elevens. DraftKings, 400. BetMGM, another 100. Short-term loan, like a couple days before that. Oh no, you're paying them back. You're paying them back $100. That's good. And you lost. No, you made a little bit of money on DraftKings. Made like $100. And that's just 1 month. That was April. And then looks like you have some crazy spending in May and June as well. I can't believe, I mean, the credit card, that story of you going to Atlantis with the $1,000. It's just, I mean, it's. I guess it's nice to go to the Bahamas, but doing it on the free stay for the casinos, that just reinforces it in your head that paradise and gambling are connected. So we get to June. So in this month, we'll go back to April real quick. You had 7,700 deposits and you purchased 6,600. After a month like that, your brain resets and you're ready to go for the next month. You just, no issue. Just, you're like, I ended the month with like $900. I made all this money. Do you ever feel like it sucks that you lost the money that you made?
All the time. But the thing is that I like see so much money in rotation. Like I'll have a bunch of money at one moment and then lose it the next. It's like almost like I'm numb to the feeling of it.
Yeah.
I'm numb to. It's like I always use examples like if you grow up in a neighborhood where there's always shootings, stabbings, robberies, and you walk outside and you see this going on, it's not really going to affect you as much because you're numb to this. You've been seeing this all your life compared to somebody that grew up in Hollywood or Beverly Hills or somewhere that, they're from a lot of wealth and they go to an area like this. It's going to affect them a lot more. They're going to be like, oh my God, what is this? It's going to frighten them. So compared to that numb feeling, like when you're always winning, losing, up and down, back and forth, you see a lot of money, you lose a lot of money.
These numbers are like meaningless to you.
It's like, it's like, number one, I don't even see those numbers. Like I don't look at the statement at the end of the month and say, okay, so this was the deposits, this was the withdrawals.
Yeah.
This was,
June. Let's talk about June. $29,000 in deposits, almost $30,000, and purchases of $28,000 in transfers. I mean, you began the month with $5,000 and you ended it with $129,000, and you just had mad money coming in and out, just getting rotated through whatever gambling site. But in the end, you fucking lost $5,000. Immediately starts with DraftKings, Cash App's out. You bring back a little bit of that. Turo, you rented a car?
Yes, Turo's a car.
What's your car situation right now? Do you own your car?
No, I'm renting. So I actually had a car that I financed. It was a 2020 BMW, and because of my gambling, the car had to be returned because I couldn't keep up with the payments. The payments were like roughly like $900 a month, and so it was a high interest rate. And yeah, because
do you still owe any money on that?
No.
Okay. And then right now you're renting a car?
Correct.
How much is that a month?
So I usually do it by the week, and when I do it for a week, it's roughly about $400.
Why do you rent a car to try and get to these locations for your pickups?
So when I have a car, at the worst, if there's nothing else going on, I always do Instacart. I'll do Instacart, DoorDash, stuff like that. So I know at least I have a guaranteed source of income if I have a car. I can work early in the morning, late at night if I wanted to, all day, and make a few $100 doing stuff like that if there's completely nothing else going on. But then there's also to get to different jobs. I'll have, like Sunday, I have a few jobs going on that I have to drive to. So I also have my daughter just in case I want to go see her and take her somewhere. So it's a mixture of reasons. As we're going over this, I didn't even print out my I didn't even give you the Cash App statements, which I didn't think of. But now that you're saying Cash App a lot, I actually do a lot of transactions on Cash App. So this is just like
whatever hits the account.
Yeah. So this is but Cash App.
Because can't you withdraw to Cash App too on?
So with Cash App, you can transfer it to, because I've made a lot of money where people pay me through Cash App as well. So that's why I'm thinking about it now. But with Cash App, you can withdraw it to your bank account, which is a fee. Or like I said, I can go around that, transfer it to DraftKings, and then withdraw it to my bank account, which is no fee.
Yeah.
Now also with Chime, I can go to certain ATMs where there's no fee for the ATM. So whenever I'm hitting ATM, usually I tend to use the Chime, unless it just makes sense to use Cash App. But
so I don't know if you could explain this to me, but on 6/10, you gave DraftKings $3,000, and then you withdrew $3,000, and then you put $3,000 back into DraftKings. It's right there at the bottom. 3,000 out to DraftKings, 3,000 back in, and then you said, fuck it, put the money back in.
that's a good one. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember why I did that.
$1,000 DraftKings, 1,900 actually You got back 900. I mean, it's just back and forth. DraftKings. That's just every charge on here. DraftKings. I mean, dude, you say that you enjoy this money, but you pretty much just, the only enjoyment you get out of it is like the hotel bonuses and stuff. Like there's no even any other spending on here to really critique other than like random ass Uber trips and fast food purchases. It's just, look, another page. It's just DraftKings, something, Zip, TickPick. Is that gambling too? TickPick.
Oh, so that's another
Short-term loan.
Well, it's actually more of short-term purchases. Like for that one, I bought Yankee tickets with that, and then they take it out of your account every 2 weeks.
So do you gamble on a Yankee game, then go to the Yankee game?
For that one, yes.
That's crazy.
And it's actually interesting.
And then DraftKings.
For that one, I actually won for that Yankee.
Oh
game.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fun. Go to the go to the Yankee game, finance the Yankee game tickets, and then win.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, that's a great night. I mean, I did something similar, but I bet $20 on the game to try and make back the money I spent on the cheapest ticket. Did you know in baseball, like, it's almost impossible to have an edge in gambling?
I've learned that the hard way. I've tried with baseball.
Like, baseball is one of the sports where it literally just all evens out in statistics, and you're just not going to find an edge.
You know, I follow these guys on Instagram, specifically one guy.
Or you need to fucking delete Instagram. I'm telling you, you probably follow the most. You follow all these. And do you have Twitter too?
No.
Okay.
Just Instagram. And there's one guy, but now
do you pay for picks?
No.
Okay.
But I have in the past, maybe once or twice, only because this guy has like 5 million followers, and to see what the hype was about. I said, let me, and it wasn't much. I paid maybe one time, it was like he had like a special $1 bonus, and then another time maybe it was like $40. So I paid for it maybe a few times just to see what the hype was about. And now I look at him as a clown. I look at it, I watch the videos, I'm laughing like this guy's a clown. He has his comments turned off.
Yeah.
So nobody could comment or whatever.
But in the end that you're the clown, right?
Absolutely.
He doesn't actually gamble.
Absolutely.
But he comes up every time that someone like
buying the
gambling
picks.
addict.
Yep.
$40 straight profit.
Absolutely. And I that's why I said no.
I wish I had like a clown nose and a clown hat. I'd put that on you right now.
Absolutely. I would wear it because I agree.
How much do you have in your checking account right now?
My checking account right now, I think is, I want to say maybe negative $40, $50.
Negative $50. And you've made how much money this year? Probably like 30,000, 40,000.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And it's all fucking gone.
All gone.
You spent maybe 8,000 of it on things like rent. Are you behind on taxes?
So I've actually, because the last time I filed taxes, I owed money for something, and I haven't filed in like the last 2 years, I believe.
Holy no way. You haven't filed taxes the last 2 years? You were on the run, my man.
Yep.
Oh my God. You have not filed taxes in the last 2 years, and you've made maybe $100,000 in the last 2 years, and you've blown it all. You have a reckoning to deal with, dude, and you're still gambling. So we're pretty recent now with May. I'm expecting, what do you think is going to be in May?
Probably similar transactions.
Oh, similar transactions, I think.
May was my birthday month. What did I do in May?
What'd you do in your birthday month?
I know I did something. So much happened since then, I don't remember.
Then I see you get paid. Immediately after you get paid, you spent, looks like $2,000 at the DraftKings, immediately after you get paid $2,000 at DraftKings? Why? You just have the money. You don't want to hold on to it. You just think you could double it up or something.
That's pretty much what it is. You just get the urge, like, okay, you know,
Here we go again.
here we go again. And it's like that roller coaster. You know, you're working, and while you're working, you're basically going on that incline on the roller coaster. And then as soon as the money hits and you know your income is there, now you're on the roller coaster. You know, curves up, down, all over the place, and then the end of the ride is either you end up, you know, with money left over, or you lose everything.
Yep. In your case, you lose everything.
Pretty much. Yep.
I don't even know where to start with trying to get you to pay some of this money back. I think you should. You have a lot of taxes coming. You're gonna probably try and have to work out a deal with the IRS to get on a payment plan eventually, and you're gonna have to be working, chipping away at that. But then you also have these credit cards. They're both at 29%. And then you have another one at like, I don't know what percentage, but it had $300 on there. The next time you get $300, you should pay off that other one, close the account, chop the card up, whatever you need to do. And then you have two to focus on that are roughly the same balance, same interest rate.
So now one of those is actually the self card is actually a secured card that I've actually was doing. I was part of this like credit building program where I was paying like $150 a month, and it was like towards a loan. They give you like a secured loan, and then you pay they take $150 a month. Basically is to pay back your loan, but it's your money. And the money from that you can use as your available credit for their credit card. So the self credit card. So I basically was doing it for I think 2 years. Had $2,800 in there, and put it into the credit card so I can have that as an available balance, just to try to when I was trying to build my credit up. And so the self, if I pay that card off, I can close it, and they'll give me that money back.
Okay.
So I was thinking my priority would be to pay that off, whatever the balance is, 2,800, 3,000, whatever. Close the card, take that money out, and then use that money to pay off
This other card.
the other card. Right.
Yeah. That seems like something you could do within the next 2 months if you stopped gambling. You
Right.
need to stop gambling. Like, stop. You need to get help immediately. You need to stick with the help. You need to go to whatever calls. You need to disconnect yourself from anything that stimulates you. Delete the apps, delete Instagram, to unfollow them, block the accounts, whatever you need to do. Anything that reminds you of gambling, you got to go cold turkey until, I mean, forever, dude. Like, this is just not a sport for you. I mean, even the smallest amount of gambling is going to get you fucking down back the same path. Like, you're a full-blown maniac when it comes to gambling, and it is not working in your favor. And I think you make good money. I think you're a smart guy and you work really hard. But you're in a ton of debt right now. You owe the IRS a ton of money that you don't even know. You don't even want to look at that number. You can pay back these within a couple months, but living in your current way is just not for you, dude. Would we be able to pull up one of your gambling apps, say DraftKings, and try and see your total wins and losses? Is that a thing?
Sure. So this is, it lets me do it for this month, this year, and lifetime.
Yeah, try and pull up Lifetime.
Okay, so this is lifetime.
So I'm going to try and show this to the camera. About $250,000 you've wagered. And it looks like You're beating the built-in edge just slightly. You've lost $15,000, which is, I'm sure you've lost more on other sites, but it's better than expected for $250,000 wagered. You've won 239, lost 254,000. You've deposited $72,000 and lost $57,000. How long have you been using DraftKings, do you think?
So I've used DraftKings. I started using DraftKings more September 11th of last year. And that was because I went to.
So this is all within a year?
This is all within a year because I went to a Jets game, and before that, I was using Caesars. I mean, if I look at my Caesars app, it's probably going to be,
Can you pull up your Caesars? I'm going to give you a little bit extra money just because I don't know. Maybe you can.
So last year for this in that game, I bet on the Jets game, and Aaron Rodgers got hurt the first play of the game. Immediately, DraftKings and some other sports apps voided the Aaron Rodgers bets as a courtesy. They didn't have to, but as a courtesy, a show of good faith, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because they understood that everybody who betted on him automatically lost that first play. Like literally the first 2-3 minutes of the game. Caesars didn't do it. Caesars said, no, it's the house rules are, if he played even one play, he's bet stand. Immediately after that, after going back and forth with them, I said, you know what? I've given Caesars a lot of business, and they're no longer will get my business. So I switched to DraftKings during that moment. So that was like September of last year.
Okay.
So from September, most of that was from September last year to this point. Okay, so let's see. Caesars.
Well, so back to your habits and stuff. I think your gambling needs to stop like today. You need to end this chapter in your life. You enjoyed it. Sometimes you didn't enjoy it. You probably had a lot of downs, a lot of great ups, but I think the gambling chapter needs to end. And it's going to be really hard because it doesn't seem like you have people close to you that really have their shit together and have been around you for a long time. So it's going to be hard to be able to do that yourself. And so that's where these things like Gamblers Anonymous can give you some sort of sense of community. And hopefully you can find someone there that you respect and understand their story at the same time, because this is just not, it's just not going to keep going. It's not going to be good for you, dude. As much as I love gambling myself and I think that winning is great, you were prone to gambling addiction, and for the rest of your life, it is going to be something you struggle with unless you go cold turkey. It's something you need to completely stop. So I think I wish you the best of luck, dude, and I hope that somehow, some way that you can end this chapter and say this chapter is done. The next chapter is going to be more boring. It's going to be long, but I'm going to do it for my daughter, and I'm going to do it for my future self and my retirement. So, because I think you make good money, you work hard. I think you can turn that shit around, and I think you can like look back at that chapter in your life after this next chapter of say a decade and be like, damn, I saved up a lot of money. I worked really hard. I miss the times that I had when I was younger, but I've learned up and I've owned up to it as a man, and it sucks that I had losses and stuff, but I'm ready. Like, I'm glad that I did move on because look at where I'm at now. So I think you can do that, dude. But it starts with it's all you. Like, no one else is gonna, as much as the Gamblers Anonymous might help, it's all gonna be you at the end of the day to refuse to invest more money into this shit.
And I don't, I know I have the willpower. I was a big smoker,
Uh-huh.
smoked cigarettes for a while, and I quit cold turkey, um, for many reasons, health, my daughter, just bunch of different stuff. So quitting smoking cold turkey, I know if I could do that, which is like one of the hardest things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
um you know my fiance would tell me all the time. She said, look, if you could quit smoking, do the same thing with gambling. It takes the same uh thing, which is willpower. It's how
Yeah.
bad you really want it to end, how bad you want to stop.
Sure.
And like you said, no group or person or anything could have more power over me stopping than me wanting to stop.
Yeah.
So, and I do want to stop. I do want to change the course of my life, the way it's been going and where it's going in the future. So,
But it's not I want to stop that I need to stop. It's I will stop and I am stopping. Like,
and I have to stop. Yeah.
yeah. So find some sort of support. You can get it done. Obviously, this is a way stronger grip on you um, than smoking because it just doesn't play the same cause and effect in your head.
Hmm.
But I think you get it done, dude. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you,
Appreciate
dude.
it.